into it, it's easy. It gets
Yeah.
it gets easier, and then like it was just so much fun because like as like with Gabriel's Inferno, like it's you get to know people, like it's
Yeah.
not, there's a comfort level you get because you've talked to them before, so they know that they can do things, or and I like with the Walking Dead people, like I've talked with them enough to where they're like, oh, you can trust that Sara Beth isn't going to say anything,
Right.
and like, and if they slip up, because that's another thing, like that happens too, where it's like Gabriel's Inferno is a little different because everybody's read the book, and nobody's gonna be like, oh, you spoiled this, like, no, there's nothing in there that we don't know about, like,
right.
But every now and then someone says something, and they're like, oh, you can't mention that, and to know that you're not going to do it is important too, because then that level of trust also leads to a better interview, because if you're not going to abide by that, then it just people don't want to talk to you, so it's important.
You need that level of trust and comfortability when you're speaking to someone that you're not used to speaking to all the time.
So. Exactly.
So with obviously speaking about like interviews and everything, because you've interviewed a lot of people, but if you have a dream interview of yours of a particular person that you would like to interview one day, who would it be?
Oh gosh. God, that's so hard.
You could interview anyone.
Anyone. Oh my God.
That's hard.
Sky's the limit.
I mean, like the serious side of me would love to interview like a former, like Barack Obama, or like Oprah, or somebody like somebody hugely, like that would just be like, just because I know that conversation would be so incredible. From a celebrity aspect, probably somewhere between Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, because that would just be amazing. That was like the first movie that I ever, like, if I ever was gonna fangirl over something, it would be Interview with a Vampire. That would be it. And so it's like Tom Cruise from a very specific era, and Brad Pitt from a very specific era, like before all of the drama and all of that. Like, oh my God, that would be be amazing.
That would be a pretty cool interview.
Would be. And it's funny, and I'll say this because I think you guys will understand me when I say this. I would love to interview SR for real, like in real time.
Yes.
Joked about this, like we've joked about, like when Galaxy's Edge opened at Disneyland, I said, now you can come and dress as a stormtrooper and no one will know anything, because you'll have one of those voice modifiers. No one will know anything. And you show up at the airport and we'll go to Disneyland and spend it. It's been like this running joke. But it's funny because as much as I want to do that, I also don't want to do it. And so that's like, I've thought about this a lot, and I was like, I kind of like that nobody knows anything, and I don't think I'd want to know either. I don't think I'd want to know anything beyond what I already know, and it's like, that's okay for me. Like, I'm okay with that. So that would be like, so maybe that would be like, just, like that would be like a huge mystery that's finally solved, but I kind of like the mystery. I want to ever know, but I also open my Christmas present early because I have no patience. So as much as I say I don't want to know, I kind of do want to know. So I don't know.
Right.
We love his anonymity, but at the same time we don't.
Mainly because I just want to have the ability to just shake his hand and look him in the eye and say thank you.
Right.
And just move on.
That to me would be the top priority, is saying thank you for bringing all of these works to life and sharing this universe that's been created. But I'm also just intrigued that no one's ever figured it out. And so like, I don't know. I started watching, I don't know if you guys have ever watched Unsolved Mysteries, like the new ones on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
They make me angry. Like, they make me very angry because I'm like, okay, you can't put this on and not tell me what happened.
Right.
Like, I can't handle that. I want to know about the man in the hole in that hotel. Like, I want to know why that happened.
Yeah.
So on that, so I'm like, I guess maybe this is like the Batman fan in me, but I'm like so intrigued by the mystery because in doing research, because I've interviewed SR so many times, like I didn't realize how many times, like going back like 6 or 7 years, like we've done interviews, and it's usually email. Now it's like it's real time, like like DMs, and so it's more of a conversation. But the articles, like there's an article that was written when the book deal first was, that first book deal was done, and it was a Hollywood Reporter article. And I remember thinking to myself, how on earth does nobody know who this person is? Like the level that you have to go through to make that happen, and the fact that there have been, possible set visits and informing roles, like how do you do that? And then I started thinking, maybe SR isn't just one person. Maybe it's like a network of people. Like we don't actually know. Like how does somebody this entire like thing, because I'm so intrigued by the mystery of it that now that's why I really don't want to know. I really don't, because I've dreamed up, and it not to say that I would be disappointed. I would not be disappointed.
Right.
In any way, shape, or form, if I invited to coffee and SR was going to be there and I walked in, whoever I met, I would be extremely thrilled to meet. Does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of at the point where I'm thinking that like I have too much of an imagination, that I've now decided that there are probably multiple people, and it's probably like this conglomerate of people that are this one like shadow entity that make up like the Fox. Like I don't know, like the Fox's Den is like a bunch of people. So I it's become a life of its own in my imagination, and I'm okay with that.
I literally I've wanted to send this to him, because this is legit how all of us are, like us three, and then everybody else is probably having the same mindset. But there's this picture, I think it's from a show, it's of Charlie Day, and he's like looking at this map behind him, and he's like trying to figure out what it is, and it's all these connecting dots. And I was like, we're Charlie Day, SR is the map. We're trying to figure out what this is.
No, it's so true. It's so funny, because that's the only article I've ever read. I think there's another one, but it's just that mystery just boggles my mind, and I totally love that. And so, and the funny thing is, and I'll just share this because I think it's kind of intriguing, is that before my interview with Tosca, the interview with Tosca was the first time that I ever appeared on screen, ever. Like I don't share selfies. I don't post pictures of myself. I don't do anything. So until that interview came out about Passionflix and about Gabriel's Inferno and about SR, I had never put myself out there. So like nobody knew what I looked like either. And it made me start thinking. I think that's why I've become like kind of obsessed with that idea. So I was like, damn it, I just blew it. Like,
I blew the mystery.
I could have kept going with this somehow, and I could have just, had a blank screen up and I could have kept going. But it's actually more fun, like I guess, because like now everything's on Zoom, like these virtual classrooms and stuff, everything is Zoom now. So it wouldn't have really worked. Like the pandemic kind of screwed that up, but this was before the pandemic. So I had never I sat and I was watching, these videos, and I was like, wow, I've never done that before. Like I've never done that. And so it was kind of big for me too, because I was like, normally I was pretty anonymous until this year, until 2020. And then Gabriel's Inferno came out, and then I did this interview, and now I'm like not anonymous anymore. And so, yeah, it's weird.
Well, we like it because we like to see facial expressions and, you know, movement and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I don't know, it makes it like more lively, I guess. So it's, you know, but
yeah,
we're glad you showed your face.
Yeah, we're glad we showed your, So we're thankful for your face. So just putting that out there. We're thankful for your face.
I appreciate that.
Let's see. So I know we talked about that you were an athletic, like in the athletic department, but how did you start your career as reporting and interviewing?
So that's a really fun story. So I always loved writing. I always knew I wanted to be a writer. Didn't go to school for it. Like I double majored in history and political science. Like I was going to be a lawyer, and then life happened, and then I was tutoring in college, and that's how I got involved in athletics. But the whole time I was always writing. Like history majors, that's all you do is write. And so yeah, you're always writing about something and learning about writing, and even though it's academic. And so I needed something to do. Like I wanted something to do that was kind of fan based. And I had seen this tweet about writing, doing recaps of True Blood. And I was like, wow, I love True Blood. Like I would love to do that. And it didn't pay anything. It wasn't, you know, it was just writing recaps of True Blood. And at the time, I was dating this guy who was like, you know, he was kind of one of those cost benefit analysis type people. You can understand, like, you know, it's like, why are you doing this for free? What are you doing this for?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just something we enjoy. I mean, because, you know, recaps take a while, you know, and back then, like I didn't get screeners or anything, you know, it takes a while to do. And he's like, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, it doesn't matter. It's something that I enjoy. So 2 years into that, I got a press pass to Comic-Con because of writing for the site, so that I could go watch the True Blood panel. And I was like, hey, this is cool. Now I'm writing these articles, and like I'm covering, like, you know, I'm talking about things that I'm passionate about. And I also got into Comic-Con for free. Like that's great. And then so it was something that I was always doing as a hobby, because like as you know, working in athletics, I didn't have much time for anything else. And so when I left athletics, I was like, this is what I really want to do. I really want to, you know, keep writing. And so that's how I got involved with Fansided. And within about 6 months of working at Fansided, they sent me to their Walking Dead fan site, and so that's when I started running that. So that was in 2016, I think. So I was doing entertainment, sports, and then Walking Dead almost full time, and I love it. And so it was really like proof that, like, you never know when opportunity might come about. And you kind of have to make your opportunities come about. Again, like that's why I admire what you're doing so much, because it's very similar. Like you see something you want to talk about, you're passionate about something, and you just do it, and it may pay off. Like it may not pay off for a while. It may pay off really quickly. Like you never really know. But back then it was just me writing about True Blood, and that's kind of how it started. So True Blood was cool. That was how it got going.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. I'm so bad. I've only seen like one episode of True Blood. I'm so bad.
My dad and my stepmom have seen, I think, all of it. They talked about it all the time when it was hopping at that time. They talked about it, and I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I watched like one or two, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think I got distracted by the Vampire Diaries because they're like around the same time.
Oh yeah. I you know, it's funny about True Blood, because True Blood's actually one of the, I don't know if I should say this, but I guess I'm always honest, so I'll say things all the time. True Blood is one example of a book, a show that I like more than the book. I don't know what that means. But I like the, you know, like, generally speaking, you like both. And I really didn't like, because I think it was so drastically different. Like I loved the character of Lafayette so much, and I was so glad the show kept him alive, and he died in like the first book, the first chapter of the first book or something. Like it was crazy. Yeah, it was weird. I actually never read the last book in the Sookie Stackhouse series because I was so afraid that I wouldn't like the ending. I just wanted to keep it the way I remembered it, and I just left it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my yeah, I it doesn't happen often, but I was like, the series isn't doing for me what the show is doing for me.
But the show, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we I mean, like going back to like Brittany and I don't know if it's because of just like the assumptions that we had gotten in the beginning, but like when we first started the page, we specifically had to just say this all the time just to make sure, because we were like, listen, we are not employed by Passionflix. We don't get paid by the post. Every post that we do, we don't get paid for TikToks. We don't get paid for any of this. We literally do it for fun and for free. Yeah. It's a side hobby that we enjoy. So
yeah, it's like, I'll show you my bank account. Literally, it does
literally, we don't get paid.
Nothing. We don't get paid. I promise.
Yeah.
Because people have sent us requests of like, hey, can you send this to Allie? Can you send this to Tosca? Can you do this for me? And we're like, no, we're a fan account. We don't do any of that stuff. So sorry.
It's like, you do it. You do it.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah. So we've had to say that.
Yeah. And that's always, it's so hard. I mean, people are so excited and they get so excited and they don't, sometimes boundaries are hard, and that makes it difficult. I mean, if you ever go to a comic book convention or, any, like if you end up at Comic-Con and you go to a press room, like you're told specifically, you don't ask for selfies, like you don't ask for autographs, and you don't ask for things like that. Is a rule that you are not supposed to do those things, and people do them left and right. I mean, I think the Walking Dead cast wonders why I've never taken a picture with them, and I'm like, well, you're not, like, for one, like, you're not supposed to. For two, like, I see you more as my friends than like celebrities, so I don't really want to mess that up. But it's and so I see that and I'm like, I don't really think that you should cross those lines. It's not to say that, like, if in some alternate reality, like Melanie sent me a DM and was like chatting with me, like I wouldn't chat with her. Of course I would, but it wouldn't be like, in knowing her personally, I wouldn't be like, okay, well, I'm going to send you this, or, some person wants your autograph or like that. That gets messy. And you don't want that to be the case. But, the reality is that 9 times out of 10, if you did that, like if somebody needed something, like they're always, everybody I've met, they're always so accommodating, and like they're always, do you need anything? Do you want anything? I'm like, no. I don't need that. Like, I don't, just okay. Thank you for talking. Yeah, that's what I appreciate.
Yeah. That's what we've discovered with some of our interviews that we've done. And we've actually, we've created friendships out of it. And we don't ask them of anything. If we do reach out, it's for a collaboration for like a Passionflix staff member, for their birthday or something like that. And it's, but that's just like the limit we'll go, because we don't want to ask them for anything, because it's not our place to ask. But again, like we look at them as just friends, like, hey, like we're all friends in this, and this is for another friend. But if it's like a fan request, we're like, no, sorry, that's just breaking that trust and that boundary. And we don't want to do that. So
we just talk to them like friends, but like if we have a follower or something, it's like, oh, can you message David and ask him this or something? I'm like, no.
Sorry.
I was like, you DM him. He pays attention to his DMs.
Yeah.
You do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, well, and there's been people that have met the people that we have interviewed and we haven't met them yet. So we're like, you have a picture with them. You met them. So, you know, you got your thing that you wanted. So
I was like, you got one up on me.
Yeah. So, and then so I'm just like, if they try to ask for anything else, I'm like, no, I respect people's trust and loyalty too much to try to ask them of something that's beyond us to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Not into that life for sure. So you're good there. But, so I guess like for this next question we have, it's kind of like an open-ended one, but more so I guess like in a sense of like, so the question is, who's your inspiration? But like inspiration can be, you know, for a lot of things. So just like inspiration to write, inspiration to just like collaborate with people across the world. Like, who do you think is that one person that really just kind of gave you that push to like really reach out?
Oh, that's a great question. I've never really thought of it. I've never really thought of that. I mean, like obviously, like I have to say, like my mom was always so supportive of like anything that I ever did. So I always like, you know, she was somebody who always like from an early age, like it didn't matter, like, you know, like if I wanted to do something, my mom was always the type to say like, okay, well, how, you know, like, how do we make it happen? Like, what is it that you want to do? Like,
Right.
Like when I wanted to quit Girl Scouts and go play T-ball instead, because that made more sense to me than Girl Scouts. You know, she was like, yeah, do it. Follow your passion. Like, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I definitely, you know, like early on, like that was a huge inspiration. I think lately, especially over the past year, I know it's going to sound cliche, but I have to say that Tosca's been somebody that I've really looked to as an inspiration because of the way she's been able to do exactly what she wants to do. And she doesn't back away from, like, obviously there's challenges and there's, you know, there's roadblocks to a lot of things, but just the fact that she is, you know, she's so dedicated to this mission that she has. And it's not even as me wearing my fan hat. It's just when you look at the industry as a whole and you understand how it works, it's like the fact that she's able to do that and that she makes it happen is so incredibly unusual on so many levels that it's like I'm so impressed that she does that and that she's able to do it and that it's been so successful. I mean, she launched a streaming service about something she's passionate about, but she's also able to give us so many different things, and it's just, you know, without having to sacrifice the story or sacrifice the quality or sacrifice you know, anything. Like, I mean, she just went out and did it, and I think that's an incredible accomplishment and something to, you know, to look at and admire, and I just respect it so much. So I would have to say, like, just having met her this year and been able to talk to her so much, like I'm just continually inspired at everything she does and everything she continues to do, and the fact that she was able to be so successful in a year where so many people weren't successful and they weren't able to do anything. I mean, people are shutting down and she's like full speed ahead releasing movies. Like, you just do that. So unheard of. So
we love her.
She like when I talk about the company, I mainly talk about her because she's not just an inspiration for like get it done and just do it, but getting it done and doing it and being a woman, because it's so unheard of for just like it sucks because we need to change that, but it's like being a powerhouse woman, being so independent and just going after what you want and just taking it is just incredible. And just doing it by yourself is just so inspirational to so many women out there who were probably told otherwise, that they couldn't do it because of whatever limiting factor that they had. But she's an inspiration for just women everywhere, that you are only capable, you're only as weak as you allow yourself to be. Like, you have the potential to do so many great things. You just need to believe in yourself that you can do it. And that's what she does, is she creates that belief in all of us that we are capable of doing more than we think we can. And it's just amazing.
Yeah. And in the opportunities she's created for other women to take, to be part of the cast and the crew, and these incredible opportunities. I mean, it's not just, she lives and breathes her mission statement. And I love that.
Yeah. Tosca for the win.
Tosca for the win.
Absolutely.
Let's see. So, what do you like doing in your spare time when you're not writing?
Or reading.
Or reading.
Well, so interesting, because writing is what I do for a living, but I'm also writing outside of the writing that I'm doing for a living. So I'm writing a novel, and so that's been really, it's been a long time to come. And so I finally like, I've always wanted to do it, and it's something that I've had planned, and I've wanted to, and the timing is right. And so I've got about a third of it done. I mean, it's so much fun. And so that's really been taking up like a ton of my time, because you can't really go do anything anymore. So so I've been writing. So I write for work, and then I write for fun, and the writing for fun is turning into my novel that I've always wanted to publish. So yeah.
That's so cool.
That's so awesome. Well, congratulations on that. That's amazing.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward to it whenever it comes out.
Yes, we will be the first people to buy it. Just shoot us a link to wherever to purchase, and we will.
Thank you so
We will get it for you.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're actually, well, Brittany's already written 2 of them, but we're collaborating on one. She and I are writing one together. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. So
I sit at the computer screen and I'm like, oh crap.
It happens though. So
I'm getting there.
Oh, that's so cool.
Gotta get in the right mind space.
Like, that's gotta be cool, because it's kind of a lonely process. Like, you're just kind of out there until somebody gives you feedback. In fact, I just got my first feedback yesterday on my first 2 chapters, and I was like, I've never had 2 chapters. Like, I have thousands and thousands of words, but nothing strung together chronologically, cohesively. And now I do. And so I was able to send out some chapters and get some feedback. And I was like, wow, this is so weird. It's so real and so scary, but also really fun. So yeah. But it's so lonely. And so it's cool that you guys have each other.
Yeah.
It helps.
It does. It helps a lot.
It does.
But yeah, no, we can't wait until whenever you get comfortable enough to release the information, when it's all said and done and finished, and we'll be really excited to share the news with everybody else, for sure, with your permission, of course. But so
yeah, no, I think my biggest roadblock is myself, because every time I sit down, I'm like, oh, I should do this, and then all of a sudden, like, I went from I'll share this because it's kind of and then that way you guys can say, like, if it ever gets published, and you will have this story exclusively, because it's just, but I always envisioned this one book, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell this one story, and it kind of came about because of what was going on with my mom, and I was like, I need to do something creatively, so I was working on it kind of in the background. And so then I was on my way to the comic book shop, and during the drive to the comic book shop, I was thinking about my book, and I thought, oh, if I did X, Y, and Z, I could have a sequel. So I should write that down.
Mm-hmm.
by the time I parked the car at the comic book shop, I not only had the entire plot written for the second book, but it became a third book. And so now it's become a series without even trying. And it was so weird in my mind because it happened literally in the span of time it took to go from my house to the comic book shop.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, this is not good. So now I'm kind of operating in like 3 different planes. And then from there, like it became like side characters going off. And so it's like this weird thing. And I'm like, you know, you need to just finish the first book. You can't start thinking about the fifth.
Focus on the first and then
we know exactly how you feel.
So that's my ability to finish it is going to be based on just being able to sit down and not do that anymore. Because it's just so, I'm like,
and not think about.
Yeah, we know how you feel there.
Yeah, because we were only 2 chapters in to our collaboration novel. We were only 2 chapters in, and then we were already thinking of a spinoff or thinking of the sequel. We were like, hold on, wait.
Like, calm down.
Slow down. But we get excited. So, and I know you probably feel the same way. You get that excitement going and you can't shut your brain off because you're thinking of all these things and the potentials and so.
Yeah. And it's not a bad thing. It's just it's a horrible impediment to progress because you're like, I need to finish chapter 3, not book 3. Like it's just not even there yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we only just like a few more questions, so it's not very many, but this is one that we like to ask people because I don't know if it's a typical interview question, but it's always fun to see like what people's answers are with it. So we just wanted to see who your celebrity crush is.
Gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, that is a hard one.
We have a lot.
It's so hard because there could be so many for so many different reasons, but oh man. Oh, I don't even.
It's hard.
I don't even know.
It is.
It's so hard.
It's a tough question.
I don't know, like I've got. See, it's hard for me to separate the characters from the actors sometimes. Like you have to, but you start getting caught up in that. I don't know. Like I guess maybe like. I mean, I could go easy like George Clooney, like.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love George Clooney?
Right.
He'd probably be like the embodied. He's like everything that I admire and respect. So he'd probably be at the top of that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good, rounded person.
Yeah.
I know I'm being like cliche because it's a more recent celebrity crush, but I can't help it because of who he is. But I have just fallen in love with Julio. Like, yeah, he's an attractive person, but his intelligence, his wit, like it's just just being a passionate, humble person is just incredible. And so that's why I'm just like so drawn to him because of his personality. It's just like
Yeah, no, he is absolutely just such a great person, and you can just, and I really want to talk to him when we're in the same time zone, because the poor guy, he's always like, it's always the middle of the night, and so I've never really talked to him when he isn't exhausted.
Yeah.
So I feel really bad. But I mean, he's so positive, and so, I mean, his work ethic is incredible, and I just love that consistently every single person who talks about him shares a story about how hard he works, and I love that. So I can't fault you for that one. I think you're right on with that one.
No.
I mean, it's my dream to get to interview him and talk to him, mainly because it's like, I just want to talk to him, just to like, just to
Not
talk.
even like interview him, but just
just to talk, just say hey.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's
So.
Yeah.
My crush is in Turkey.
He's far away.
He's very far away. It's okay.
But
his name's Karim Burson, but he's from America.
He's from Texas, so.
Yeah. He's from Texas, but he lives in Turkey and is on a Turkish show and only speaks Turkish in that show. But he's very attractive.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sarah, just Google him. Just Google him, and you'll know. You'll know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I trust you. I absolutely I can understand. You know, honestly, the language thing. Oh my God! Like, I think that would be the only thing wrong with George Clooney is he doesn't have an accent. Because like, who doesn't love a good accent? You know,
accent. Mm-hmm.
He does have a soothing, like
it's very soothing.
Like.
Yeah, his voice.
It's like what's it? It's like Morgan Freeman. Like it's just like it's that person's voice because of like how distinct it is. Like you just know it's that person. So it's So we can give him that he has a distinct voice.
Now, if he could do an accent.
Now, if he could do an accent, then be a game changer. But
that's something else. Let's see. So what are you looking forward to most after quarantine from this COVID hell?
Oh gosh. I think for me it's like it's just getting back out and just doing like not having, I feel like it's going to be a while before we feel like safe, but just going to places. Like the other day I was like, oh, it would be a lovely day to go to the museum, and I was like, but the museums are closed, like can't go to a museum, like can't go to the zoo, like there've been all these little babies born, baby animals born, and it's like normally like everybody knows the baby animals, and like, and just I don't know, it's just things like that, like little things that were just so much fun before that. I don't know, like those things really stood out to me because I think about that all the time, like I've been going on these really long drives lately, and I end up in really strange because like you can't get out of the car, and being in San Diego, like you can't go south because you run into Mexico, and you can't go east because it's basically like all desert, and like Arizona, like there's not a lot between here and Arizona, so like there's not a lot to do. You can't go north because you're heading into LA, and that's like the worst of the worst right now. But I have done I did Beverly Hills once because I wanted to just drive around, so I didn't get out of my car, and I was like, this is okay and it's fun to drive around, but like I miss just getting out and exploring and just just doing fun stuff. So
I
look forward to that.
That's how I am too, because I know in like Dallas over here we have what's called Clyde Warren Park. It's this park that's built above, like kind of intermixed with the highway, but it's like people go out there and play frisbee. There's food trucks, live music. They'll do like a movie night where people just like sit on the grass and watch a movie, and just like connecting with people and just being outside and just doing all this wonderful stuff. And it's sad because you can't be close to people. It's just I miss even just like meeting strangers, just like conversing with them about like a particular like common interest or something, because you're all there for the same reason. So it's like, just I like people watching too. I'm that creeper in the corner that's just like watching everyone's behavior. Just like
Airports. I love watching
Airports,
people
yeah.
watching at airports where you're just like,
Yep. You find out a lot about people at airports and other places. But,
Just in general,
True.
you find out a lot of people. You find out a lot when people don't realize you're paying attention to them, when they don't think you're paying attention.
yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's what I love about people too, because like you watch and you see the most interesting interactions, because people are like oblivious to the fact that you're paying attention to the things that they're doing, and you're like, wow, it's a good thing and a bad thing, both. It just
Yeah.
depends on the interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love going to Las Vegas and doing that. Like, and I am so excited to like, I want to go out, and I want to go to New Orleans, and I want to go to Las Vegas, and I'm hoping to go to New York for New York Comic-Con this year. And I was supposed to go 2 years ago and couldn't. Like, you know, that's what I'm looking for. Just seeing new things, because
yeah,
the whole world
Yeah. Just being able to
out there.
in person and just be around people physically, just, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully one day soon it'll hopefully die down. We'll see. But so the last question that we have for you, we kind of touched base on it a little bit earlier, but what book do you think that you would hope to be optioned by Passionflix here in the next like year or so?
Well, so I'll give you a two-part answer. I hope that some of the books that have been optioned are the series are picked up, because I never assume that means like the whole series is going to be picked up, like, you know, unless they say that. So, you know, with the Come Away With Me series, like, I would love to see that. And, you know, obviously with there's, now that I've read these books, I'm like, you have to do it. Like, you have to do,
right.
You have to do the rest of the books. And, and I feel like Wicked, and I feel like Wicked, you know, like everything that's been optioned recently has these sequels and things. So I feel like they kind of have to.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for that. And obviously, you know, Gabriel's Passion and all of the other SR books, like I hope that those all come to life. Outside of the world of Passionflix already, stuff that already exists, I am still advocating for the first romance novel that I ever read was it was a short story. Well, it wasn't really a short story. It was in a book. There were two stories in this book, and it was a Nora Roberts book. And I came upon it because I had never read a romance novel, and I had never thought I would read a romance novel. And I was working in my college bookstore, and I was in charge of ordering all of the all of the bestsellers and stuff. And so I kept noticing certain books were always at the top, and I thought that was really interesting. And my boss was like, yeah, my best friend put herself through college writing TNA books. That's what she'd call them, the TNA books, the tit and ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that must mean something, right? Like, that's, I mean, if they sell that well, that's cool. But there was this so like whenever a book didn't sell, you never sent it back to the publisher. You rip the cover off and throw it away. And that's how you destroyed a book. And it was heartbreaking to do, because it was just like anything. I mean,
oh my gosh,
any book. I don't know if they do it in like regular bookstore. Like, that's how it was for this at the college bookstore. Like, the grocery store is probably the same. Like, you don't send the books back.
Yeah.
You just tear the cover off and it's destroyed. And that's why, like, if you ever read inside a cover, it'll say like, if you bought this book without a cover, it's illegal because it has been destroyed. So anyway, I never threw the book away. I threw the covers away.
Yeah.
But I couldn't bear like throwing these books away. So I'd end up with these random books, like nonfiction, fiction, any genre. Like, I would just take them home and then try and read them, because I felt bad. And there was a story that Nora Roberts, and it was called This Magic Moment. And it's a story about a magician in Las Vegas, or he's a magician. He doesn't live in Las Vegas, but he does this big Las Vegas show. And like his publicist is somebody that falls in love with, and like he's, you know, there's all these complications. And I just loved, I'd never read anything like that. And I was like, wow, this is such a cool story. And it wasn't a particularly brilliant story. Like it wasn't anything that was like earth shattering. It was just a sweet story. And I thought, wow, and so I see it as like almost like a quickie. I don't see it as like maybe a full movie, but if sentimentally, if something was going to be made, that would be the one I would pick, because it was the first one. And it's also like, I love magic and I love Las Vegas, and I feel like it has all of these really cool elements that would be fun to see come to life. But yeah, that would be it. That's my, it's just because it's
that's cool
memory. Yeah.
That would be a cool quickie though, because it would be different, you know, like that would be
absolutely
well, now I have to read it. Now I have to write it down to read it.
It's really hard to find, but it's like it's usually in with like another book. It's short. It's maybe like 200 pages, but it's such a good story. But that's what I'm so excited about with Lick, stuff that they're going to be announcing, and all of these. Like, I love that they're venturing out, and like they're gonna have a rock and roll story, and they're gonna have a paranormal story. Like, imagine like getting a Highlander story. Like, it's just fun to see the growth. And I think that's you know, I the other day when they made the announcement about Lick, there were some people who sent me messages, and they were like, you know, I really thought you were going to say it was about Gabriel's Inferno, and it was going to be an announcement about that. And I was like, well, you know, Passionflix is more than just Gabriel's Inferno. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say it lightly, because I love Gabriel's Inferno. It's what introduced me to Passionflix. And so I don't discredit or diminish its importance and all that. But at the same time, like, you have to have a bunch of stuff. Like Passionflix is, you know, like Netflix wouldn't be popular if it was all I don't know, cooking shows. You know, you watch the cooking shows. You don't, you know, if you have a general service, then you have a lot of different stuff. But Passionflix is about romance, and people like different things, and so it's about, you know, you have that balance. And so I'm excited. I mean, I hadn't read Lick, and so I read it, and I was like, wow. I hadn't read The Will. I didn't think I would like The Will. Like, I read the synopsis, and I was like, this isn't something that I normally would read. And then I read it, and I was like, oh my God. And then I saw, you know, it's like, oh my God. So I feel like those things are, you know, sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle, because everybody's so driven by, you know, I want the Driven series, or, you know, when are they going to announce this, or when is this? And it's like, yes, be passionate, be excited, be so over the moon passionate about what you're into, but also remember that there are other things, and Passionflix is dedicated to bringing all of those things to life, because the more new people they can bring in the fold, the more of the other stuff they can do, you know. So you want to see more Gabriel's Inferno, or you want to see the Man in the Black Suit, or you want to see the Florence series, or any of those things. It's also a business, you know, so there's also that side of it. And that's, you know, that's where I put my pragmatic industry hat on. It's like, that's how those things happen. It doesn't just happen. It costs money, and you know, you have to support all of it. If you want it to be, if you want more of what you want, then you have to understand that there has to be other stuff too.
Because there's not just one type of romance story. There's so many different kinds. But what I like about it though too, because I know Brittany can agree to this also, and I think some of our followers too, is we all have our one type of romance that, you know, we like and that we stick to. But with Passionflix, it's opening up so many other doors to let us branch out and get out of our bubble and like get to know other
Right.
authors, and know other stories. And so that's what I like, is it's
Yeah.
getting out of this little bubble of mine and exposing me to other stuff, because there is other stuff out there. We just got to find it. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also so cool because I think about, every announcement, how many people there are like me who go and buy the book. And so you're supporting the author and supporting, more stories, because obviously, like, if, all of a sudden people are gravitating towards rock stars stories, then you know that more of those are going to be made or written or created.
Mhm.
And so it's like, it just creates this really cool circle in this community. And I think that's just so cool, that it's a cycle. They introduce them, or they auction a book, everybody goes and reads the book, because it's going to be a while before the movie's made, and then the movie comes out, and then new people read the books. And it's just introducing these things. Or new people come to Passionflix because they find out that this book is being made, like Wicked. All these new people are coming to Passionflix because of Wicked, and then they're going to discover Gabriel's Inferno. And like, how cool is that to be able to discover Gabriel's Inferno for the first time and see the movies? I mean, for those of us who read it 20 years ago, nobody, I mean, I hate saying it, but I never thought there would be a movie. I never thought that would ever happen. As much as I dreamed that it would. I thought, it should, and it absolutely should have happened, but the time was never right. And now I'm glad it wasn't, because it wouldn't be what we have now. But now it's completely changed it. Like I said, now I read books specifically thinking, okay, how would I cast this? Who would I see? How do if it's a series, like Christian Proby, I just read, I think I'm up to like this, I just finished the Montgomery siblings, I think. So I think I'm finished with that first section of her books. But like, there's a whole family, like there's like 25 people that need to be cast because they're all in each other's stories. How cool will that be? Like, that'll be so much fun to have. So it all goes hand in hand, but to be able to discover that, I mean, it's so cool. And I honestly love getting those messages, because I've been getting them because of Lick. I'm like, I'm starting Lick. I loved it. Or now I'm in Play, or now I'm in Deep, and now I just finished the fourth book. And so many people message me and they're like, oh, you're gonna love this, or you're gonna love Mal's story, or you're gonna love this story, you're gonna love. And I love that. I love being on the other side of that too, being like, oh, you're just discovering Gabriel's Inferno. God bless you. Like, you're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah. No, that's what we kind of experienced it when we interviewed David and Jordan from Dirty Sexy Saint, because they didn't really get a lot of recognition back then when it was created. And it wasn't until, because Gabriel's Inferno blew up, so that means, Passionflix Falling blew up. But then, like you said, you get to discover other books and other movies. And so, but, Brittany and I try to talk about every single thing that Passionflix has created, because the majority of our following is either Jodi Ellen Malthus or SR. So we try to like expose everybody else to other things too. So, because if it wasn't word of mouth or discovery, no one would ever know. All these other ones existed. So.
Exactly. And that's what it is. I mean, it's just understanding, like, everything you're doing is so amazing, because you have to have that balance. Like, it's Passionflix. It's not, I mean, I joke that there's now an SR extended universe, which I think is just awesome, because there is, like, it's a cinematic universe. It's like Marvel, and it's so cool, but it's, it's just one little bit of this bigger universe that Passionflix has. And it may not be, like I said, I never would have expected the will to hit me the way it did, but I was like, wow, I love this book and I love this movie. And so those pleasant surprises that you don't expect are so much fun. I mean, The Protector, oh my God, like I watched that and I was, wow, this is such a great movie. And then I went and read all of Jodi's books. Like, I love these books. Like, this is like, where was this? How did I not? So it's just, it's magic. It's pure magic, and it's incredible. I mean, I can't even keep track of how many projects they have. Like, how many that, you know, there's so many books that have been optioned recently, and I'm like, I don't even know. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But again, I just think it's cool because it's just like this whole experience, and the whole community is just like the greatest discoveries that could have ever been placed in my lap.
Yeah. Yeah. And what a time.
But I know. Yeah. It all happened at like the perfect time. It's weird that it works, but it's awesome that it did too. So it's like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, we're just thankful for the community, and also just thankful for people like you who just share the fandom and the love for everything. Because it's cool to talk to people that have the same passion that you do. It makes everything feel right in the world, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, we're thankful for you and everything that you do. You keep doing you, because you're awesome. So we're
here
you.
for it.
We're here for it. So.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you. I mean, it's been such a pleasure. We need to do this again. I have enjoyed this stuff. And like I absolutely loved it. And I'm honored that you asked me to be a part of it. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. But just keep watch in the next couple of days. We'll post the link to the video, because we'll post it on our channel, on our YouTube channel. And just keep watch. We'll post the link for you so you can have access to it, so you can reminisce if you feel like it.
All right.
Thank you. And thank you so much. And thank you for all you do, because it's you guys are the unsung heroes of just, you know, fans everywhere, and just you're so representative and so positive of everything. So thank you for that.
Well, we couldn't do it without the love and support of like the followers, and then also for people like you who just share the interest also. Couldn't do it without any of that, because Brittany and I were totally okay with it just being us, and then somehow it just manifested into this thing, and so we're like, oh. So
that's the best way. That is honestly the best way for it. So
yeah. So
well, thank you. We hope you have like the best rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Right. A bunch of stuff.
Do it. You got
do it. You got it.
You got it.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon, Miss Sarah.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Bye.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Ooh.
That was Miss Sarah.
I love her. I love her so much.
She's so cute. Love it.
I really hope she comes to PassionCon, because I just want to give her a hug.
I know. Everybody that's watching this, tell Sara Beth Pollock to go to PassionCon.
Yeah. Message her, blow up her DMs, and say, come to PassionCon 2022, please.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was our amazing, super fun, super casual interview with Miss Sara Beth Pollock. She's amazing. Make sure you follow her on Instagram, and for upcoming interviews and articles that she will do on her page as well. Make sure you follow her. Again, make sure you are subscribed to our channel for more interviews that are coming up for 2021. Give this video a thumbs up obviously, because it's amazing. And
Yep.
then make sure you're following us at Passionista_sisters for more interview news, content, fun stuff, live,
stuff.
all of the things that involve Passionista sisters. But we thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And we will see you on our next interview. Until then, adios.
Adios. Muchachos.